I'm Dave with Hamilton Motor Company. We're here with this awesome 2013 Lexus GS. This is one of my favorite cars from Lexus. They don't make it anymore. We have two products that we sell at Hamilton Motor Company for the GS. The first is what we're going to install today. This is our 2012 to 2015 Lexus GS, a Hamilton conversion kit for CarPlay and Android Auto. It's a complete replacement screen that comes with a built-in really powerful processor. It's going to do a few things for us. Number one, you're going to get a touch screen that also works with your factory mouse. Number two, it's going to have wired and wireless CarPlay and Android Auto built in. And number three, with this complete 12-inch conversion kit, you're also going to be able to load external apps directly onto our system. This makes it far more powerful than even many of the newest infotainment systems in cars. As a less expensive option, we have something called the Hamilton Upgrade Kit. The Hamilton Upgrade Kit would install behind your factory radio, and it would put CarPlay and Android Auto onto your factory radio. It would not be touchscreen, you'd still use your factory mouse only, and it would not allow external apps. So those are the two classes of product that we have for the GS. We cover the GS starting in 2012, and we go all the way through 2020. We can cover any GS. The older ones here, the 2012 to 15, they have various versions of software that can make it difficult for less experienced companies. We have software to cover any type of factory GS screen. If you have any questions, you can simply give us a call at 919-858-2890. Let's dive in and get started. Turn the car into the on position and shift it to neutral. Ensure that your parking brake is set, you're on a level surface, and the wheels are chalked. With the car in neutral, we're going to remove the negative battery cable. This uses a 10mm socket. And that way there will ensure power is off to the vehicle. Inside the vehicle, we're going to begin by removing these two leather-covered trim panels on either side of the center console. You can reach under them with your fingers, or you can use a pry tool to pop up the edge. And then they will lift up and off. We'll do the one on the driver's side next. Sometimes there can be a little bit of friction under here. Next, press down around the shift boot and turn the gear shift knob counterclockwise to take it off of the gear shift stalk. Set this in a safe place. Next, we're going to remove this trim panel around the radio here. I like to buy these cheap rags on Amazon to protect my fingers, and I'll come under here and just pop it out. I'm reaching in where the hook was from that lower panel. Just like that, we'll disconnect the start-stop button, press down on the tab, slide the harness out, put it in the back seat. Use a 10mm socket to remove 2 bolts here. You could also use a Phillips head screwdriver. These can be in a little bit tight, so I like to use the socket. With your bolts loosened, it's time to remove the center console cover. I like to use towels to protect my hands and the center console. Reach under it and apply firm upward pressure, lift it off, and disconnect the harness. For these harnesses, you'll simply press down on the tab and slide it out. Where the harness is connected to the center console cover, put your fingers under it and simply pop the clip free. We'll set this in the back seat. With the center console cover removed, you can pick up the trim box from the passenger and driver sides and pop it free. There will be one harness to disconnect. Press down on the tab and slide the harness out. We're going to remove this factory plastic trim surround. There's 3 small screws that look like this. They're Phillips head screws. There's one right here, there's one right here, there's one right here. They're plastic and they're in these clips. You're going to use like a small screwdriver to thread them out, and then the rest of the clip is going to come out when we take this piece out, okay? Because these are plastic, sometimes you need to get under there and put your fingernail under them just like this to apply downward pressure as you unscrew them. Let's do it. I'm using a small screwdriver here. You can use a right hand screwdriver. You can also use a tiny screwdriver or a little bit. I'm using my fingernail just to help that screw down. And we'll remove it. We can now remove the trim surround. I'll start from the top. I'll reach down, kind of compress it like this. And then once it's free, you just want to take it out in a swift motion like that so that you don't scratch your dash here. And when we put it back in on the flip side, we'll do the same thing. We're now going to remove two 10mm bolts under the factory radio. With the bolts removed on either side, cover your gear shift with a towel, use towels to protect your hands, and pop the radio right out. We'll take the radio and we'll set it down into the center console. We're going to now remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts around the factory screen. You'll use a 10mm socket and an extension for these. With all 4 bolts removed, it's time to take out the screen. You'll start by folding the top down. I'm going to use a towel, and I'm just going to gently maneuver it around. There's going to be 2 harnesses to remove, one thick black harness and one blue LVDS harness. This one's for the video signal. With the screen removed, it's time to remove this trim panel containing air vents and the clock. Simply reach onto it and pop it loose on either side. We'll disconnect the harness. Press down on the tab, slide the harness out. We'll also need to disconnect these 2 harnesses underneath your air vents. Here's the new screen. Before we install it, let's get the wiring prepared. I'll talk about the wiring quickly. You can see on the back, we have a blue port on the new screen. That video wire will plug right in. There is, however, not a port on the back of the new screen for the factory black wire. So this will plug into the Hamilton harness. Our main harness is going to connect into this large power slot. The USB accessory harness will connect here. There will be no harness connected here. This is for your GPS, and this will be for your 4G antenna if equipped. Let's get going. Here's the main power harness. Lexus pioneered this system with the 2012 to 2015 GS. This harness would then stay the same for Lexus all the way through 2020. This is the main power wire. It's going to connect into the back of the new screen. This is the primary power wire that goes into the back of the radio. So we'll remove the big wire from the radio, we'll plug the Hamilton in, and we'll plug the factory wire into the Hamilton. This one here, labeled OEM monitor, this is how we account for that black wire that was plugged into the back of the factory screen. It'll go in right here. We have one labeled mouse. This is going to connect underneath the factory mouse. And we have one labeled audio. This one is going to plug in behind the radio. So once again, we'll take the factory wire out of the radio, we'll plug it in here. We'll plug the Hamilton male into the back of the factory radio. Touchpad is not used. This is for the variation of the car that has the touchpad. That would be for the RC. 360 control will not be used on this vehicle, as well as the 360 power. This wire will not be used. We have these 2 wires, camera and OEM mic. I'll show you what we're going to do with these in just a second. This is our USB accessory harness. This harness is going to be for your wired CarPlay, as well it handles a few other functions. We're going to connect this yellow camera RCA to the yellow male camera RCA from the main harness. We're going to do the same thing with mic. This will connect from here to the main Hamilton harness. I recommend you wrap both of those in electrical tape so they don't come apart as you're pulling them through the dash. This wire here will plug into the back of the new screen. It's the USB accessory wire. This main wire here will plug into the back of the factory screen. It's the USB accessory plug. This 360 control wire will not be used in this car. UART is not used. As well, AVN will not be used. Your USB here, you can route it to a convenient location. We will suggest some. It will be for your wired CarPlay and wired Android Auto. All Hamilton Lexus systems come with wireless and wired CarPlay and Android Auto built in. This speaker will mix navigation sounds from CarPlay into your factory radio channels. So if you're somebody who wants to listen to your factory satellite radio or FM radio and have navigation from Waze, Google Maps, or Apple Maps and CarPlay mix into your radio, you'll use this speaker. It plugs into the main Hamilton harness labeled speaker, and you'll install it behind the factory radio. Behind this gray bar is a little tab that you'll reach in and press with your finger and lift out on the gray bar. I can show you now the gray tab a little bit better. See how that moves? Once this comes out, we will install it into the Hamilton female harness. This is the female side of the Hamilton harness. We'll go ahead and connect this. Press down the bar until you hear it click. And we'll reinstall the Hamilton male into the back of the factory radio. Press it until it clicks. This here is the head unit audio wire. Press on the tab, slide it out. Sorry.
You're good. Sorry, I just cut it.
We're going to connect this to the female Hamilton labeled audio. Press it until it clicks. And take the male Hamilton labeled audio, line it up into the socket, and press it until it clicks. We're going to go ahead and connect the yellow camera RCAs together. I recommend you wrap those in tape. As well, we're going to do the same with the microphone. This system will use your OEM vehicle microphone, so call quality will sound awesome. Now we're going to take the main new monitor power wire, the OEM monitor wire, and the USB accessory harness main plug, these three together. We'll route them back through here and up into the upper cavity. You can see while we're doing this, it is nice to make sure that your harnesses are taped together so that they don't come apart. The black wire that was plugged into the back of the original monitor will plug into the Hamilton female OEM monitor wire. This is the speaker wire coming off the main Hamilton harness. We're going to take it and line it up, the notch with the clip, and we'll plug in the speaker. You can take the speaker and set it back behind the radio cavity. This is your USB wire. It will be for charging your phone while using CarPlay, also wired CarPlay or Android Auto. This USB wire, you have a few options. You can route it into your center trim box. It's easiest if you drill a small hole in the trim box, or you can pop loose the back trim and you can fit it into the trim box. You can also route it into your glove box. Some customers want it easily accessible on either side of the center console. We're going to put it right here for this customer. You can add a little zip tie if you'd like so that it doesn't come out ever more. You can also run it farther back if you prefer, closer to the seat. It's totally up to you. For the time being, I'm now going to take the factory radio and I'm going to set it back into its bracket gently. We're going to take these two harnesses because they stick so closely together, the mouse and touchpad, even though the touchpad will not be used. And I'm going to take them out through this hole here. This is the easiest way to do it. And then I'm going to come back in through this hole right here and down into the center console. And we'll do that each with the mouse and the touchpad. And the ending result will be that was the easiest way around this plastic bar here. Pull all of the slack. Tuck these wires up nicely. And we'll leave this down here for at the very end so that we can reconnect the mouse into this harness. Go ahead and connect the GPS antenna. This will go behind the screen. This USB accessory harness will connect here. This one will connect here. And this LVDS wire will connect here. It'll be a bit challenging for you to see this on camera as I start to fold the screen up and do it. With those connected, we'll go ahead and install the screen, put the top in secondary to the bottom. Go ahead and line up the screen into its socket, and we'll begin to install the bolts. We are now going to begin tightening the bolts on the screen. You'll see that previously the screen had 4 bolts, 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. We're only going to be adding 2 bolts on the bottom. We've added a locator pin, and our screen is slightly lighter in weight than the factory screen. 2 bolts are more than sufficient to hold it. The reason we only use 2 instead of 4 is using the top 2 would make the screen sit too far back and there would be a small gap. We'll go ahead and reconnect the harnesses here. Reconnect the main center harness for the clock. And now we can take the air vent assembly. With the factory air vent assembly reinstalled, we are now going to reinstall the center radio unit. Be mindful of the wires behind it, they can get in the way. You'll need to tuck them gently down below the radio. There's a large power connector that is the most common offender if you're having difficulty getting it back in. With the harnesses tucked below the radio, you'll be able to take the radio and slide it in and snap it in on both sides. It is now time for us to install this plastic trim surround. Make sure that you use towels to protect your dash. It's really easy to scratch your dash here if you don't do this carefully. I'm going to pinch this on both sides. Just like that. The plastic has a lot of give. And then once it's in, you can maneuver your towels out. And just like that, we've got it in place. We'll reinstall those 3 factory clips. We're going to take each of these clips, compress the legs, and put the 3 clips back into place. You'll then reinstall the screws in each of these. These screws will require both a lot of screwing force, but just upward pressure as well, as they are plastic screws. We will now put the 10mm bolts back in place underneath the factory radio. Let's go ahead and reconnect this harness for the trim box here. With the trim box connected, line it back up into its sockets and snap it into place. This was the harness that was originally connected into the Hamilton mouse. We've connected it into the female side of the Hamilton harness. We'll connect the Hamilton male into the mouse. We're going to go ahead and reconnect these as well. With the harnesses reconnected, go ahead and tuck them gently under the center console cover. We'll maneuver the center console cover back into place and snap it in. We'll take the shift knob, put it back onto the gear shift, and thread it into place. Reconnect the shift boot. We're now going to reinstall the 2 bolts that are holding the center console cover in place. Start them by getting them hand tight, and then we will use the socket wrench to snug them. We're now going to take the leather covered trim panels, line up the clips at the end, and then we'll go from the front of the car to the back, clipping them into place. We'll do the driver and passenger sides. This is your USB for wired CarPlay. This customer wanted it accessible here. You could get it into the glove box, or you can negotiate it into this trim box through the hinge if you would like. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have that exactly where we want it, and then we'll take the trim panel on the passenger side, we'll line it up, and we'll clip it into place. Last step will be to take this trim surround here for the factory radio, reconnect the start-stop button, line it up, and we'll clip it into place as well. Go ahead and reinstall the negative battery cable to restore power to the vehicle. Use your 10mm socket to tighten it.